Welcome back to Inuyasha Anime Review, Part 11. This one I'm reviewing episodes 83 to 92. Yes, roughly 10 episodes. The first four are two straight two-parters. The first two-parter is technically a filler episode, though it also adapts from the manga for some reason. I don't know why it does. This introduces the character Ayame, a woman who claims to be Koga's fiance. Yeah, it was a promise he made years prior when she was a bit younger, and, well, here's kind of the thing. He kind of forgets about it. Now, the episode starts out with him at Naraku's castle, the one he was having up until toward the end of the last season. Yeah, he actually abandoned it. And he looks around, looks for Naraku, and then he leaves, and then Ayame, of course, he runs to Ayame first before he leaves the castle. And they kind of fight each other briefly, and of course he doesn't really remember what the promise at all. And then of course we have a giant hair demon. I'm thinking, is this Yuri? No, this is not Yuri. Yuri's dead. That demon was killed off at the start of season 1. Yeah, this is basically another demon who is simply a giant mouth, a possible incarnation of Naraku, but he's just an abandoned demon. Yep. And most of this two-parter, we have basically Koga's group, along with the Ayame and Inuyasha fighting this hair demon, and they kind of defeat it. And of course, they ask him a question like, "Where's Naraku?" Like, "Nah, he's going someplace where I'm not gonna tell you." And then, of course, at one point, Koga saves Ayame from being eaten by this creature, and then the creature is later on destroyed by Koga, and of course Kagome as well. And of course, they have Koga and Inuyasha team up briefly to take out this creature. As the creature is defeated, of course, Inuyasha wants to finally take the shards from his legs. Like, nah, I'm gonna get away. And Ayame basically just decides to go back, and I might come back to it later. Now, despite the fact Ayame is an anime original character, here's kind of the interesting thing about this character. She's kind of canon. Yes, after this two-parter, for what I read, the writer of the series, Risako Takahashi, she developed a fondness for this character and made her canon. Though she technically didn't physically appear in the manga, she is essentially canon after this two-parter. Yep. That's simply what happened. Like, right after this episode, she became pretty much canon to the series. Yep, became canon. And you see reference in the finale where Koga basically, I won't spoil what happened with Koga in the finale. I'll reveal that when I get to it. Let's see here. There we go. Found it. Okay. After that two-parter, we have another two-parter dealing with a demon's head. Now, in case you're wondering, no, this has nothing to do with... Yeah, this whole two-parter is simply the monk being what he is. Yeah, basically, this demon's head is like basically going on a ramp. Even though this demon was killed, apparently its head was kept underneath this castle. And throughout this two-parter, they had to basically fight this creature. They think it's demon head, but actually illusion. And also the Lord himself is possessed. Yep, and then of course, it turns out that the princess they ran into is not actually the princess. It's basically the demon they were looking for. Yeah, oh yeah, and the actual princess, she's dead. Yep, she's dead. Apparently, she was killed in order to get her user body to house souls. Her father was basically used as basically a shield in case anybody came in. And then, of course, eventually the creature herself is actually defeated. Yeah, it's actually a woman. It's a female demon. And, well, yeah, of course, Sango is constantly worried about Moroku throughout this two-parter. And, well, he doesn't do anything, like, he doesn't grope her at all throughout this entire two-parter. It's mostly put almost a nothing two-parter. They're just characters who are hired by this lord's, let's just say his vassals, in order to deal with Demon's Head, which they do. Yep, they do. That's simply put what it is. That two-parter. It's like the first two-parter is really good, and the second parter it was interesting to say the least, but it was okay. The only thing interesting about this one is that it was revealed that apparently Moroku is not the only monk to come to this castle to deal with a Demon's Head. Apparently, a whole bunch of monks and priests tried to come, but they were all killed and their special power was sucked out. Yep. Now, the thing is, after this episode, we have 6 straight standalone episodes. First, we have Kikyo's long journey. She basically comes across a bandit after healing some people in the village. This bandit apparently has got a history with Onigumo, the bandit thief who became Naraku. Yep. And it's kind of revealed through this whole thing he is kind of indirectly responsible for the birth of Naraku, where he basically Onigumo tricked this guy to get the Shukan jewel from Kikyo, but look how Inuyasha stopped him. And apparently also knocked part of a sword, got in his eye, kind of explains that. And then he sort of burned Onigumo for betraying him, and tossed him over, and according to Kikyo, right into his arms. Thus, basically started all the events of the flashback at the start of the series. So this guy, according to this episode, is indirectly responsible for some of the events of the series. Yeah. And of course he has Shukan Jewel, and because of the fact he's also very evil, man. He just basically did a lot of pillaging, and he wanted to sort of redeem himself after a long period of time, after basically being ill at advanced age. He's basically looking back and he's like, yeah, I was a terrible person, but I want to redeem myself. So before he dies, he gives Shukan Jewel, a shard of Shukan Jewel to Kikyo, and a lock of his hair. And where do they go? A mountain named Heike, basically, which they mention. And the whole mentioning of that particular mountain, that sets up the very next long-running canon arc of the series. Kikyo herself will appear in like one other episode outside of this one, and that's pretty much it. Now, 88 is technically for a while the last canon episode for quite a while. Next canon episode doesn't come to episode 102. Yes, 14 episodes later. Yeah, but here's the thing. There are 13 straight canon episodes. Spirits of the American God. This whole point of this standalone episode is, well, help kind of basically plant seeds for the long-running arc that comes right after this one. Yep. Excuse me, Inuyasha Scoop just traveling for a while. Also, just point out in 87, in case you wonder, does Inuyasha ever actually appear in this one, Scoop? They do very little in this episode. And at one point, Kagome basically her butt basically is bothering her, so she has to like relax for a bit. It's not explicitly revealed exactly what the problem with her is. It just basically, she's embarrassed by it, and then of course, Inuyasha's like, hurry up, and then she tells him to sit, and that's that. Yeah, their appearance in 87 is almost nothing compared to the main story. 88 is simply put the group come across a village, which apparently is frequently attacked by monkeys. Yes, monkeys. Demon monkeys. They're like, okay, fine, we'll go deal with these monkeys. And they find one monkey demon, and he punches it, and turns out three little ones. And it turns out they're looking for the Stone of the Monkey God. And apparently the reason why they've been raiding the village is looking for this thing. They eventually do find out they long period. Of course, at one point you have Inuyasha being tricked by them to get a rock, which holds on his hand. And there was a dream sequence where he has to do really quick alarms, though that Shura would take a sword, and Kogo would take Kagome. So they eventually go back and forth all over this frickin' village, looking for this particular thing. And eventually, oh yeah, it's actually using the pickle jar. And then, of course, Moroku purifies it, frees the monkey spirit, and the spirit of the monkey god. Of course, Inuyasha himself gets free from the stone, which apparently the three little monkeys forgot. So, in the end, they pretty much just build a new shrine, give him some offerings, and he'll protect the village. Perfectly fine. Yep, and the whole point of this one, more setup for the long-running arc. That's simply what it is. And then we have two, even though these are two technically standalone episodes, we have two straight episodes set in modern day. The first one simply put this. Kagome is sick, and basically Inuyasha decides to hurry up and get well, but can't get well right away, so he wills out basically get something to help her. Run the Kaede briefly, And then Kagome basically says, "Oh yeah, I think I should go home and relax for a bit." So goes home. Of course, see her friends first time in quite a while in the series. Her friends and Hyuga, who is a guy who's got a crush on her in modern day. And don't worry, she does not end up with him at all. Yeah, their relationship goes absolutely nowhere in the series. He's just a red herring. Yeah, but he does deeply care about Kagome. And throughout this whole standalone episode, Inuyasha comes to modern day and I've staying there for quite a while. Even says the following episode, modern day. Yep. And of course they have a test coming up too. They reveal after visiting Gome's friends and Hugo basically all. So they study for the test. Inuyasha goes back to the past, gets some of the stuff she took before battling much demons, and basically creates an antidote for a cure. For a cold, and then she wakes up, and of course she's gonna be really late for school. She says, "Okay, get dressed, and I'll get you there right away." And of course he races over, gets to school just on time for the test, and it's kind of hints that he may have passed the test. I don't know; they don't really go into it. And the very next episode is an episode that I thought was okay. It's input Sota, his confession of love. Yeah, he is revealed to have a crush on a girl in his class. Of course, they have this great opening scene of Kagome and Inuyasha going shopping. And of course, because Inuyasha's got dog ears, put a baseball cap on him to cover dog ears. Okay, so they just walk around, they go shopping, and they're buying too many ramen noodles. I'm like, can she afford to buy this stuff? Yeah. Apparently he loves ramen noodles for some reason. He also loves potato chips. He loves junk food. I have no idea why, but that's Inuyasha for you. I think the reason why he's able to basically not put on any weight, well, for a couple reasons. So I think he's half human. One, because of his demonic power, probably burns him a lot of calories. And two, probably because there's a lot of walking, a ton of walking. And anybody knows, though, like, how come nobody in modern day knows, hey, why is this guy not wearing shoes? Yeah. Or, why is he wearing a Komodo with a sword? Or he probably could leave the sword at home, because I think that it's still kind of illegal to carry around swords in Japan. Possibly. Unless, of course, in the military. Yep. And, of course, we're the Soto, who's got a crush on a girl around his age, in a third grader. Yeah, a third grader who's got a crush on a girl who's a brunette. And throughout the whole episode is basically Soto trying to confess his feelings for this girl. And then after some pursuing by Kagome and Inuyasha, he does. And they start a relationship, but they're probably going further than that because they're still like little kids. They're probably about 9-ish. Yep. It's an okay episode. And then we finally head back to the past for the next 2 episodes. Next one is something related to Kilala, a cat of a similar species. The same type of cat that look like Kilala, except difference is this one basically underneath his neck, it's all black. Yeah. And apparently there is this great faith healer who wants to get rid of this cat for some reason. Apparently it's just like, oh, it's like bad luck, it's going to happen. No. Yeah, it turns out this faith healer is actually a demon who really wants to get rid of this cat because he's a rat demon. And rats hate cats. Yep. And of course, this is another episode where Shiba falls in love with a girl around his age. A relationship that goes nowhere. Because his character, as far as I know, because he's an anime original character and does not appear in the manga, standalone character doesn't appear again after this one. Yep. It's an okay standalone episode. Doesn't really count much for anything. Next one, episode, Plot of the Walking. This is a follow-up to an episode from season 1 for the show. I was quite surprised about this one. Yeah, this one's actually quite interesting. We revealed that apparently Orosuke, the sorceress who brought back Kikyo back in season 1, apparently did 2 other people. One who was a general, the other, of course, was a potter maker. And he apparently took time to take control of some castle and basically destroy several castles. He apparently has got some people who work under him who do nothing in the episode. They only appear for like 2 scenes, and that's it. This episode looked like it could have been a 2-parter based upon the plot of this one. But no, it ended up being just a standalone episode. Oh yeah, and after a few tries, basically taking the guy, he's defeated by Inuyasha's wind scar when he brings his demon from hell, which at first he just slices, barely does anything, and after getting the wind scar on him, yeah, he's pretty much easily defeated. And Kikyo herself briefly appears at the start of the episode, and that's it. Yeah, she appears just for the opening scene of the episode, and that's all she does. She just brings back the pottery character who appears, and apparently she was also there when Kikyo killed her the woman who resurrected her. Yeah, it's a retcon, basically, that this basically establishes, which is fine. I don't have a problem with this. I mean, you've established the fact she was there. I mean, you shut off this and not seeing the main characters, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, it's not exactly as obvious. Now, not the first series I've seen that did something like this. The other series I did see do something like this was actually in Doctor Who, and considered to be the worst episode of the whole series. The Love Monsters standalone episode. It is really bad. This character person's episode apparently witnessed the return of the Doctor when he battled the Autons, despite the fact he wasn't in the original episode. At least in the case of this, it makes perfect sense. He was hiding over in the corner. And why, of course, Kiko didn't see her at first, because she's probably not in the area. She's probably just outside when the resurrection happened. Yeah. The clay soldiers themselves are pretty much destroyed by the end of the episode. Yeah. And that's pretty... Of course, the character goes back to Orosuke's place to make something, and that's simply for the character. We might get more of the character in the future, but who knows. Out of the episodes overall, the first 2 episodes are really good. The next 2 are okay, has some interesting stuff going on there, but not very much. But as the 6 episode came after that, 87 I thought was a good episode. The Inuyasha was pretty much nothing. 88, even though it was a canon episode, was pretty pointless. Well, mostly pointless except for the ending, even though it was a canon episode. 89, interesting standalone episode. Great to have an episode modern day. 90 was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. 91, pointless standalone filler. Doesn't really count much into anything. 92 I thought was interesting. I thought it was probably one of the more better filler episodes they've used so far for this one. Okay, so yeah, not much else to say about these 10 episodes, but that's all I can pretty much remember. I can think of anyways. Yeah. So that's it for this particular review. I have roughly 2 more videos I'm hoping to do today. One, of course, will be an Inuyasha review. The other, of course, will be an Attack on Titan video. Yeah, I'm going to review the newest chapter of the manga. I forgot to review it. So I'm going to do it next. Okay? Just the next video. Bye.